I'm Pradeep Raja, ex-Indian Army person, appearing and giving my lectures to NCC Group Headquarters, Brig Mark, Lucknow for last 27 years. I'm giving training for SSB to NCC as well as civilian cadets, those who are going to appear in front of the Government of India to be as an officer in Indian Army. Although the Service Selection Board, which is being there recommended by the Army headquarters, and there are certain boards are there, like the boards are there in Allahabad, Bhopal, Dehradun, Varanasi, Bangalore, Vishakhapatnam, Gaya. They decide the selection of the Army, Navy as well as Air Force cadets. The duration of interview is for 5 days, and after the 5 days, the selection has to be there, and then they have to appear for the medical. Now the first day when they appear over there, they will be going for the formalities of the form. They have to fill the form in the morning, and after that they will go for the first test, which is called the screen test. This test consists of 3 things. Number 1 is the IQ intelligence question test. This test consists of verbal as well as non-verbal test. Verbal test is called to be the test with 60 questions, and these 60 questions are with the digit test. And the second test is non-verbal test, which is the same 60 questions are being given. The duration of time is 30 minutes, and this is called as figures test. Non-verbal is figures and verbal is digit test. Now these tests the candidate has to appear, and after appearing this test they have to go for picture story test. That is the second test. It is in screen. The second test, in the picture story test, they will see the picture for 30 seconds, and after that they will write the picture within 3.5 minutes. When they will write the picture, they will write the picture with 4 things. That is, number 1 is the action which is going to be in the picture. Number 2, what is the sex of the particular person who is in the picture. Number 2, whether it is male or female. And number 4 is the mood. What is the mood of that gentleman which is in the picture, what he is doing, what he is deciding to make out the things. Now the questions which are there in this written test, the people used to write this story. As soon as they will finish the story within 3.5 minutes, then they will be asked to stand up and give verbally, they will speak for 1 minute what they have written in the pictures. That means if there are 10 cadets, if there are 15 cadets, they have to appear and they have to stand up one by one and speak for 1 minute. That means for 15 minutes they will speak and they will give what they have written in their picture story test. Now gentlemen, the first thing which they have done is the IQ test. That means the knowledge of the brain which they have got. After that they have seen the picture, and then they have write the picture within 3.5 minutes. After finishing the picture, then they are speaking that what they have written in the picture. When they are speaking, that means people are listening everything of the picture. As soon as this thing is finished, they will go for a group discussion, and that group discussion will be consist of the same picture which they have to be conducted. And as soon as the discussion is finished, the selection is being given in screen. All the SSB centers, they are going to select and give their selection results. What is nowadays that out of 100 persons, if the 100 cadets are there, the selection is 70 into 30. The 70 is out and 30 is going to be selected. This is not that service selection used to do. This is Army headquarters instruction which is there. All the service selection board, what they used to do, that they will make out of 100, 70 to 30. In Bhopal it is 65% and rest selected. In Bangalore it is 60% rest selection. So now What it means that after screen, the boy or the cadet is to be selected for the final SSB. As soon as he go for the final SSB, the second day of the SSB start. That means the formalities of forms which he already filled up, and if there are other forms also he has to fill up, along with allotment of the rooms which is being given to the cadets. They are going to their rooms, and after that they will be going for the test, which is the foremost test of SSB. The number one test, which is called, is the written test of psychology. That written test of psychology, which is consist of, number one is self-description test. Number one is the self-description test. This consists of 4 to 5 points. The number one point is they will ask you to write about the question which is being given to them. The question is what your parents feels about you. Number two question, what your teachers feels about you. Number three question, what your friends thinks about you. And number four question, why you want to join Navy, Air Force or Army as your career. Now these all questions are there. This is called the self-description of a particular person. This is called the written test, which is being conducted in the first day of Service Selection Board. As soon as the written test is completed, then the candidate has to go for ground psychology, that is ground testing officer, which is called the GTO. He has to report over there, and then he will go for the ground psychology. The number one psychology for the ground is the lecturate. They have to speak for the lecturate for 3 minutes. They have to speak, and they will be given a time for 30 seconds that they will just recall themselves. 4 lecturate subject has to be given, and they have to select one and they have to speak. Now all the cadets have to speak for the lecturate. After finishing the lecturate, then you will be asked to go for a group discussion. This group discussion, first group discussion, where the subject is to be given by the GTO to you, you will discuss on the subject. After that, the subject is being given, 3 subjects are given, and your choice is to be given. So that means these 2 group discussion is to be there, which you have to do. Now the third test is the ground test, which is called the group task. That means the group has to do a task which is being given to them on the ground. The task consists of 5 to 6 obstacles, and they all group of 10 which is being chosen. These 10 boys used to conduct the group task. That means the numbering is being given to them 1 to 10, and they will be making themselves with certain aids which they will be doing. That means the group task is consist of, number 1 is the planning, number 2 with the help of aids, with the cooperation of the people, and then they will do the final selection. Now this is being conducted within 15 minutes, which is being given by the GTO, and after that they will commencement and make group task. As soon as they will finish the group task, this group task is 2 types. Number 1 is full group task, and number 2 is the half group task. First 10 will make out that group task, and then after that 5 boys will go for the group task. Why it is full and why it is half? The full they cannot make out individually as rightly it is being seen by the GTO. When there is 5, then it will be easy for GTO to watch the cadets alone, and they can make out the personality of the cadet rightly and to check the personality clearly. So that's why these 2 types of group task is being given. As soon as the group task is finished, they will go for the command task. That means out of 10 cadets, 1 cadet will be called by the GTO, and then he will ask that, well gentlemen, he will talk to him, he will ask his name, he will ask his qualification as a general, and after that he will ask to choice for 2 cadets as their subordinate, as he's been made as commander. And now when he'll become commander, he will be going to conduct a course which is to be command, and he has to do the course with the help of subordinate. That means those subordinate will conduct and help the commander to get the command task, and then it will be finished by the commanding, and command task will be finished, and then the command task is finished and command task is been over. Now, before I should go for the third thing, which is called to be the group planning and which is called to be the military planning. In the middle of this, people used to go for the interview also, and people used to go for individual obstacles also. They will go for the individual obstacle, they will go for the interview, and that means this is the third day which is being conducted, and the fourth day is being conducted along with it. Now, gentlemen, as far as the fourth and fifth day, there will be a conference which is called the result oriented things. That means a single boy, a single cadet will go into the conference, and in conference the president is sitting along with all the officers, those who have taken your test. That means those all officers will be watching you, the GTO, the psychologist, and president and deputy president, the person who has taken your interview. They all will be sitting, they will be seeing the cadets, and then they make out, and the president will ask directly a single question to the cadets, and then the cadet has to reply back. This is the part where president is look after that cadet, whether this cadet is perfectly all right, whether he is to be selected or not. All the officers are sitting in the conference and they will giving the result of it. Now, gentlemen, before that, I'll tell you one more thing which is there in the psychology, which is called to be the written psychology. In the written psychology, which you have dealt with the self-description, which I have already been made out. Then the second, there is TAT also, which is called picture story test. And third is VAT also, which is called word association test. And lastly, the situation reaction test, which is SRT. So these all tests are being included in the general psychology, written psychology, which is there in the first test of yours. So when the conference is over, gentlemen, the result be announced. That means the result is being announced, and the cadets are being sitting on one room. When the administrative officer with the rank of major or colonel, he used to come, and then he will deliver a nice lecture, and he'll tell that, yes, gentlemen, you all are very good, you are well behaved, and you all are fit enough to be selected. But as far as army rules, as far as service selection board rules, we have selected certain peoples, and then he'll announce the name of the person who is going to be selected, and the person is gone selected. As soon as the boy is selected, then he'll be out, he'll be there to go for the medical examination, and he's been given that he'll go for the medical. So this is complete SSB, gentlemen, which is there for 5 days, and then the person is being selected to be an officer in Indian Army after being physically fit as medical by the Medical Officers Board. Thank you very much, and hope for the best of things.